hello. Hey, everybody, how y'all doing? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to you, wherever you are, whatever time it is when you listen to this. Welcome to my channel. Okay, so what I'm about to do this essence reading real quick. Okay, I'm gonna do it real quick. See what we got going on in the atmosphere. See what perspectives and all that other good stuff I can help you guys out with. All right. So that being said, not all readings are gonna resonate with everyone. If it doesn't resonate with you, that's okay. That is okay. That simply means that this reading isn't for you. All right. And if it don't fit, don't force it. And if it does, don't ignore it. That's for my narcissists who like to watch. Okay, all right. That being said, let me see. Let me kick into this. Yeah, because the villains deck is one that's been wanting to come out quite a bit. So what I'm thinking this is in regards to some of the angel readings where it's talking about the aunts, uncles, mothers, fathers, and your parents loving you to the best of their abilities and best of their capabilities. Right. All right. So yeah, so it's given, the healing aspects that are coming to place with this. Now, some of this is going to be in regards to a few other things. Okay. Pagan ones. So, at first glance, it's going to be about the bad news within one looking inside themselves and not having a discussion. And then the other portion of it is going to be about other discussion. Yeah, in the alchemical aspect, it'll be about the good news of a discussion. The whole I'm glad we talked about this. Okay. With it coming up in the whole villainy aspect, what I'm thinking is, yeah, how a person wouldn't how is embedded for them not to have understanding, for them to be dedicated to misunderstanding an individual within them being protected and glamored is something that's kind of coming into place with it. So what I'm getting from it is, yeah, the whole I heard glamour girl. Okay, so one of the things that's really kind of coming to me in regards to that is what it is. Yeah, what it is to always be her faded. You talking about the pit? You talking? Okay, what this is giving is, yeah, somebody's makeup not matching. Yeah, how it fades and transitions. Hmm. And one not having movement, and a protection within one not having movement. Some of this stuff is going to be about 6 days ago. Now, in regards to this, it's going to be about some boundaries, the bad news that would have come within a person seeing, looking at themselves opposed to looking at someone else in a discussion, and then there being this aspect of the whole glamoring portion, how you try to glamour to look like someone else. Yeah, that'd be that filter shit. Hmm. What I will say is, in regards to what I know to be so about glamours, you do her so whatever you need to. If you're doing it via candle magic, that doesn't last very long. That ain't gonna last that long, like at all. Period. Is there are more effective ways to do it, to my understanding. Or do you use one? Not at all. Not at all. I feel like it's unprofessional, considering that I have a public image already, and I've been out in the public eye for a really long time. Like, primarily, damn near all my life, I've had, different wins, so to speak, where I would have to be publicly recognized. It doesn't make sense for me to do it because I could be cutting opportunities out for myself, right? In regards to a person possibly recognizing me from when I was younger. you know so there's that portion. The other portion of it, though, right, that's really kind of coming to me with the whole villainy of um a glamour, some not being real. being AI generated. Okay. I can tell the difference in the voice. I don't have to listen. I can tell the difference in the voice and in the way that the faces look on what's AI and what's not. So no, it's not. Yeah. So that's it. Now, what I will say is artificially intelligence integrated is coming off. It's coming off as the immediacy that comes into place with artificial intelligence on the technological aspect. Now, the other portion of it would suggest, right, that a person don't have the right information. How a person wouldn't have had the right information. Yeah, because it's even a different type of code when you put in artificial versus real. When you upload fake videos versus real videos. So obviously, it's some stuff going on in regards to it being some shit going on with the different computer systems. From like 9 days ago, was some bad news that would have taken place. The signs we got out is Virgo. I'm also going to say Gemini because it'll be the base of communications. Excuse me. And then there being this love of a small offer of stability within one not asking for help and not collecting information. How one would love a person to ask for help but not know who it is. No, cause here's the deal that comes into place with one of the things that was coming to me a whole lot. It happens on my keyboard and stuff. When I don't personally acknowledge it, I'll start seeing stuff, pop up on my keyboard that will suggest different people's names. And I was like, okay, I really don't care. That's not my problem. I ask for help too. Her say whatever you have to. Long story short, if I'm in a business meeting with someone and we're trying to discuss a game plan on how we can get this money, I don't need to hear no bullshit about something that happened on a networking scene. Period. And when you make peace with whatever it is that goes on, you just make peace with it. You ain't got to keep entertaining it. And just because you talk about it doesn't mean that it automatically is going to fix it. See, what you're trying to do is uh, play into the wounded healer aspect. Yeah, to see what wound, to see if it's still a wound. It wasn't a wound when it happened. I think that's the thing that's not really being understood or facilitated. After you've healed past so many different things, you understand that it's no longer your battle. This is your battle against them. This is your battle against you. Okay, so what has a tendency to happen is people forget who you are. And depending on what your mission is, you know how to apply whatever it is that's going on to your mission. It don't always have to be that it's about this person, they just hurt my feelings so much. Her, can you tell me about it real quick? It was Twisted, Kaiser, and Don. Don. Vaughn. It was Vaughn. It was Vaughn. That's his name, Vaughn. He had when I was working on Fahrenheit, and within me working on Fahrenheit, all of us had a team meeting. Within us having a team meeting to see what our next steps was going to be for like scheduling shows and things of that nature. Kaiser had already stolen my feature a couple times, not just once or twice. Yeah, it was like I was doing the work for me and him. It was one of those, bruh, that's not cool. So, so when it all boils down, it's one of those, oh, you only left because you wanted to be with Corey. No, bitch, I left because you was crooked. You was a fucking thief. Get the shit right. Part one, part two. Yeah, because that'll go into the Lathrop mathematics aspect within the whole isolation, like going to the hospitals and all this other stuff. When I was out in the county, I discovered that my name had been facilitated quite a bit in real life. stating as if I was the problem, and it was one of those, I didn't do anything to this person other than stop talking to them and cut them off because they were stealing from me and they were being hella fucking manipulative. When it's all said and done and all done and said, me and him had a really good understanding because we had been cool beforehand. And it's one of those, okay, if I say don't do this, or if I see that you trying to snake me just to prove yourself to somebody the fuck else, yeah, you trying to snake me to prove yourself to another man. Get the fuck out of here. You trying to fuck him too? Is that what this really is about? Tell me something. Because at the end of the damn day, you getting your feelings hurt and shit. Bitch, business is business. I'm not supposed to do business with you no more. That's that part. The other portion of it was I was taking care of everything out of pocket. I wasn't getting a big return on my investment. However, I at least want to see it through that whole year. This is where everybody keeps fucking up with they dark night of the soul and all this other shit, and they running their mouths and all this other. Yeah, I heard hoopla, hoopla. Yeah, this all this other hoopla. I didn't do anything to Kaiser that was wrong, other than said, you know what? No, thank you. And I made sure I paid him back the money, anything that I felt like that I owed to him, which turned out to be about $40. I paid him back. I gave him a nice car, and I went on my way. See, I believe in loving departures. That way, it'll open the door if it's necessary for me to come back and talk to you. Now, the problem that came into place with this was it was too many of them motherfuckers who kept trying to force me to talk to him. And it's one of those, when I said no, I meant no. That should have been their first indicator that I don't fucking play about me. If they didn't get it, that's not my fault. My bad. So, in that business meeting, no, that's business. Why would, yeah, it should not have ever been a question of or a comment directed towards what would have taken place on off networking scene and made it personal. Yeah, I did wait because I wanted to get permission for that line that I used in Haunted. I never got the permission from it in 3D. See, I performed it in 3D first. If it was taken care of in 3D, I tried to anchor it in 3D. Bitch, that don't mean go light a fucking candle and think that that's gonna make me want to come and fucking talk to you. You fucking idiot. That's stupid. I said that shit when it first fucking happened. I deaded it then. My answer ain't changed. Y'all doing too fucking much. Part one, part two. I have a responsibility to assist everybody. Yes, I do, but that don't mean I have to interact with them. And damn sure don't mean that I didn't need a spiritual contract to do my part. You did. And you didn't even honor that. So when it comes to that, now because I know they're gonna watch later on. I've been peeping shit. I pay attention. So in any event, I don't need nobody to force me to do right. I just do it. That's not a superpower. Damn it, that's called common courtesy. So it's that part. The other portion of it, that I'm noticing, right? Yeah, because it's like 4 different situations that come into place with it, and within there being an offer, looks like an offer of stardom and true love as an apology. Okay, this is in the whole villainy aspect of it. Yeah, because her talk about Thin on now. Is it, or they must be going through this right now? Her, yep, they are. Okay, that makes a lot of sense then. Ultimately within that whole offer, the offer to stardom and the difference between the offer to the stars within the whole true love aspect of singing, yeah, with Ariel. Yeah, that was that mermaid essence. I had already picked up on that because I was singing a lot this morning. And the Knight of Cups being Gaston. That's why it's in the villainy aspect. Because you're being a villain. You acting like Gaston. You're not even acting like the Beast. And the Beast really wasn't all that bad. He just needed to learn some fucking manners. Part one, part two. I was never anyone's in particular dragon. I was my own dragon. Yeah, neither one of them can take credit for nothing that I did. I did it. I had to get up in the middle of the night and write them damn poems. I was showing that I was good in my talents, and these motherfuckers lost their damn mind. And if they can't find it, good. That's pretty much what happened. Yeah, when you do mental magic with candles and shit, yes, that is what happens when you do mental magic. So if that's not natural to you, don't do it. It's not complicated, that simple. Now, cause I got a message through a different reader with the whole Doctor Strange situation. It's one of those, yeah, you are fucking strange, and keep your strange ass over the fuck there. Yeah, I'm ain't nobody got time for this shit. See, you still thinking in cartoons when I'm thinking in movies. We are not the same. That's that portion. The other part of it is a lot of this is going to be in regards to the Virgo Pisces axis and the Virgo Piscean axis, and the reality of it being, yeah, it being this whole aspect of, oh, you really should do this or you really should do that. Let me explain something to you, ladies and gentlemen. Zodiac signs are merely a guide point of learning different personality traits. You should be complementary to the person that you would be involved with. You should not be compatible with. Compatible is too close to compatible, and y'all don't like to pay attention to words. Okay, so I'm gonna need y'all to do that. That's that portion. Yeah, because what I'm getting from it is it being about a love reading, and the lover of the darker or the richer stories, and how you could see what it is that would have happened, uh, say for instance with generational curses, with different villains, right? And the part it is that they would have played in it. Because if you've ever watched the show Once Upon a Time, with Emma Swan, it goes a lot into the yeah, and sure, before you start creating some shit, pay attention to what it is you're creating and why you're creating it. Because in the villainy aspect, what this Two of Cups is it's about money. And there being some hot silence, not asking for help, and some shit that would have happened 5 years ago when a person wouldn't have collected the information, or wouldn't have paid something attention. One of the things that came to me a whole lot is, yeah, I personally, right, and this has a tendency to happen amongst spirit. I have no problem with letting a person know that I'm spiritual and that I practice, right? But just because I'm comfortable with saying I'm spiritual, I practice, or yeah, I'm a goddess, a witch, whatever, doesn't mean that I'm the first motherfucker you run to thinking that they done did something to you. You can't say that I'm nonchalant as an individual, right? You can't say I'm nonchalant as an individual, and then you try to make me a victim within because you feel that I'm being nonchalant, and then get upset when you find all of the information years fucking later that a bitch actually gave a shit about you. That's the biggest issue that comes into place with people fucking with Tauruses. Y'all like to fuck. Y'all like to poke people. Y'all like to poke, and think that they're not supposed to do nothing about it. Yeah, a lot of times that person don't have to, because if you've done it to one, you've done it to quite a few other people. You gotta clear all this shit out and let that be that. That's that part. The other portion of it is, right, with the whole Queen of Cups aspect, and or not Queen of Cups aspect, but within this whole the villainy aspect. Ooh, yeah, part of it is the villainy of being a star, right? The other one is the villainy that would come into place with being paid to be a star, being a paid star. And Aquarius. The year, and the year of Aquarius. Oh, the year of Aquarius with Gemini apologizing. Oh wow, that does do something. Yeah, because the dawn of it, because a lot of it is coming through that whole dawn of Aquarius. So the whole technically portion. Now, where Aries essence can get a boost from this, and I'm, yeah, within just understanding the triangle that comes into place, which you don't mix business with personal, even if it is a personal business. You can't mix business with personal. That's that part. The other portion of it is where Aries essence can really value and benefit from this, right? uh Understanding who all is your actual staff, and if you've paid your staff and how you pay your staff, and whether or not within you paying your staff, if you've paid everybody that you claim is your staff. If you haven't done that, then you can shut the fuck up, because you are not in the upright. That's tyranny. You can't be demanding shit, and yeah, just because you know that a person can do this or that, that's rude. Don't do that. So it's that part. The other portion of it, yeah, because it's a mental situation that comes with just being delusional. Period. Yeah, with believing that a person would assist you in those varying aspects. That's just a human nature thing. Yeah, you don't go chase. Okay, what I'll say is not because I like animals. And I understand the animalistic nature of everything. You know, they got that saying about, a snake, you don't go chase the snake that bit you. Well, in that regard, if and in, right, regards to if y'all are of the same breed of snake, that's what that turns out to be. Yeah, because if they bite you, it ain't gonna do shit. It's just a war wound. And if you're the type to be able to shift and change who you are and how you present yourself on the energetic sense and things of that nature, right? So it's that. The other portion of it is there was an offer that would have been made as an apology. Uh, but the apology for true love would have been the humanitarian offer. In short, you would want everybody else to love the person and not you. That's some backwards as that's not even Gemini shit. That's some unbalanced Libra shit. This is what I mean. It's one of the things that will happen a whole lot is whenever I would be getting clowned on social media, or whenever it was something that was supposed to be so embarrassing that would have happened back at that time, when I would perform, all of a sudden, yeah, when I would perform, it would be like this massive amount of support that would have come because I'm performing. Now, at that time, it was when I was okay, y'all doing too much. Yeah, when you can see through the illusion of what love is and what it isn't, and the love bombing, and you get tired of it fairly quickly, but you got to put up with it. So you just go along with the flow, knowing that it's going to end. So it's that part. The other portion of it is when this offer of stardom would come into place with the Queen of Cups and the Eight of Swords. Honoring your emotions is one of the highest forms of self care. Stop overthinking it and just do it. Okay, so here's the deal that comes into place with this. Yeah, within the whole doing a love and being a sea witch. Some of this is gonna be about the type of spiritual bath. Yeah, the type of spiritual bath that would have been taken. The other portion of it is gonna be what one would have constituted as nurturing inside of their head, while them within them being a star, within them being that person at the forefront. Yeah, because I mean, the ultimate portion of it is you can't. I mean, technically, you do blame the person, whoever needs to be accountable. However, who made them think that it was okay to behave that way? No, because it critical problem solving skills. I heard solution seeking. Yeah, critical solution seeking skills that'll come into place with this. Because if you got one person saying one thing and you got another person saying another thing, who's gonna have the balls to actually get up and go and see what, yeah, what the truth is, and actually listen to the entirety of the story? Sometimes, right? And I was just talking about this. Sometimes you have to remove the stimulus, right, in the scientific portion. So I'm thinking that's gonna have something to do with it. Remove the stimulus for 2 months. There you go. But remove the stimulus, yeah, and whatever culture it is that you got. Yeah, because I'm kind of seeing that too. But but all right, but when you remove whatever is causing the issue, you get to the root of whatever the problem is. And when you are dealing with self-control, if you see that whenever you come around that there's an issue that arises, what's the smartest thing for you as an individual to do? Remove yourself from that fucking situation. And when the situation keeps trying to come to you through another spirit, another person, whatever, what have you, along your journey, you just remove yourself from that mindset, that ideal set, right, of everything that'll go in and come into place and space for you. Meaning, if you don't talk to, ain't dealt with a person from fucking 5 years ago, that was the last time you talked to them, they should not be coming to your mind now. By no means, especially if you've done everything on the energetic sense that you're supposed to do with this person, right? Yeah, it doesn't matter. Even with closing the contracts, all that shit. If you've done everything you're supposed to do, it shouldn't be an issue to it and for you. Now, that's that part. The other part of it is when paying attention to your environment and what's surrounding you, you could pretty much tell who is trying to get you looped up and caught up in some shit. Yeah, and within them being a star, that's what they feel like. That's what stars do. Yeah, it's about the whole orbit and orbital. No, cause what's coming to me, you went liquor, you cootie queen. No, gum, getting some gum, right? So it's that the high priestess, 8 of cups, 5 of pentacles, 8 of pentacles, and 6 of wands. In regards to this whole love situation, yeah, and the villainy that comes into place with love, how a person will try to, this is that Virgo Pisces axis, they will make you be who they want you to be opposed to accepting you for who the fuck you are. I said that long damn time ago. I would not ever be I heard you said you wouldn't even date a Virgo because of that. I did say that a long time ago because they can't control themselves, and the reality is they be having so much shit going on and they be insecure, and they build their structure for uh human interaction based out of their insecurities opposed to based out of their strong suits. That's that part. The other portion of it is motherfuckers only start stuttering when they wrong. When they feel like they in the right, they could belt that shit out with no problem at all. So don't start that shit with me. Fuck out of here. Ain't nobody got time for that. Yeah, cut that shit out. Cut that shit out because that's a manipulation tactic. Ultimately, that's where the villainy portion comes into place with the apologies for shit and what it is to be a high priestess in one's own right and walking away and having having to walk to get help with work and recognition, with the work and recognition, the work of recognition. And no, this is the whole walk it like I talk it aspect. Yeah, you want to know what's funny? Because a lot of people have in their mind what they believe walking it like they talk it to mean versus what it actually is. And if you are in a space where you done a lot of the healing work, you don't know what that's gonna look like. You may not. Yeah, a person typically don't know what that shit look like because they're too busy trying to collect information on a person opposed to collecting information on the knowledge. It's very often that I say, go look this up, go look that up. I've been doing that since I was on Facebook. And when I noticed that that wasn't respected as it was told to me by who it was told to me, it was one of those, you know what, you a fake motherfucker too. You was just saying some cool shit in that moment. So since you was saying that cool shit in that moment, you cool for that moment. But after that, I can't fuck with you no more because it's like that be the problem that comes into place with narcissists, with the narcissistic tendencies that everyone has, right? If you've done a lot of good, that's one thing. If you only done a little good sparingly, and then you turn around and you participate in some fuck shit behind the scenes, that pretty much does away with all of the good that you would have done. Period. And it sucks, but yeah, I heard that's the bed they made. They got a lie in it. They are lying in it. Yeah, because you will want someone to make sure things are okay with you, right? And the whole aspect of check on your strong friends and all this other shit, right? That can and will come into place with. That's where that whole strength aspect will come into place with one being by themselves and with them being a high priestess. One of the things that I heard, go ahead and say whatever you have to. It's one okay. Just because a person studied certain things doesn't mean when I'm trying to think of the easiest and the best way to say it. When you're a vessel, you have to know who's utilizing your vessel and for what purposes. Because just the same as demons can, attach themselves to you, so can angels and all this other shit. Okay, that's that part. The other portion of it is, when there are certain quote unquote charges, right, that a person has, uh, or missions or whatever, what have you. Yeah, you get the information for it well beforehand. And when I tell you, it don't be just the information beforehand on, location. It'll tell you about the people. It'll tell you about what it is you need to do. It'll tell you about how it is, how long you got to be there in that space, all of that good shit, right? And a lot of times with the readings, people like to watch them for the gossip aspect. And the reality is, it's one of those, I don't gossip. I tell the fucking truth. When I said no then, I said no then. I'm saying no now to all of it. My mind didn't change. See, here's the deal. A lot of people are used to, a person saying no and then being able to run away. But what happens in this whole isolation aspect or introspection, where you have to say no and you have to stay, and you have to stand on that no. And when you've been standing on that no, what happens then? See, a lot of people like to be, in short, the biggest issue is a person doesn't have the freedom to get the fuck away that fast. That's ultimately what I'm getting from it. They can't run away. Mars, I knew it. I fucking knew it. Yeah, because with this whole Mars essence, and it'll be Mars and Virgo. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna just call them out. Mars and Virgo. No, I just heard about the Mars and Cancer. Nah, it would have been some spell work that would have been done in regards to it with the offering of the star, the Mars and Cancer. But this is also gonna be about what happened with the humanitarian view of shedding one's atmosphere, with Pluto being in Aquarius, with Mars being in Aquarius, and all of it. And if you know what that means for you. Well, I heard an Aquarius. Oh, okay, this is a lot. No, because it means you will be battling humanity. It'll be you against the human nature aspect of it, or you against what would be deeply rooted. Yeah, so some of this is kind of giving root work. Geomancy. Here's the deal that comes into place with any type of work it is that you do in any type of earth. You better do right by the deity. I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying. That's too many cards though. But yeah, because Mars and Aquarius was the one that's showing. But can you give me just one? In Capricorn, Mars and Cap. I should have known. But yeah, I did. I've been hearing some of the stuff. It's one of those. I don't care. I don't care. Now I don't care. I don't care. Now I don't. Put it this way. I can't say that's the way that you all receive it and understand it. I don't care. The way that it actually is I care too much to make you be a focus when my focus is the healing of your essence. I care too much to make you to be a focus when my focus is to heal your essence. I care too much to focus, on all of the craziness. I care too much. You say I don't care, and I know I care too damn much. So the best way, I heard the problem of an empath. There is a problem of a fucking empath. You feel everything all the time. It's one of those. I know if I can I know I can make myself feel better, than I can fix it for others. But yeah, so whatever this whole situation that would have came into place with a person not discussing different things, when they look inside themselves, they wouldn't have never discussed the type of star that a person would be and all this other stuff, or the type of star a person is. One of the things I will certainly say is, are you sure that the person didn't attempt to, just on the other hand of it, just to be fair, so to speak, was there ever any conversation with that person of this human skin or this human form. Or yep, I remember that. That's an opening to dive deeper. And sure, when you play deep, when a person plays deep, when they play deep, I don't care how much pipe you can lay. If you can't back that shit up with no conversation, no one gives a shit. Just as many people as that had, yeah, BDE isn't a physical thing, obviously, because I'm a chick and I have it. It's a mental and it's a spiritual thing. So yeah, just because, yeah, and the whole competitive factor, because y'all know how I feel with Mars coming up in this, and that's the villainy that comes into place with Mars. Yeah, the making of an offer. I can make you a star, I can make you this, and I can make you that, and you didn't do shit, and you didn't even pay your motherfucking part. Get the fuck out of here, fake ass. Y'all get on my nerves. Anyway, spiritual aspect. Yeah, and sure, stop doing that to people. Stop doing that. It's giving that whole twist of, let me be your manager. Yeah, that's the pimping. Pimping, since been pimping, since been pimping, since been pimping. Energized dedication to achieve for humanity's sake. Right. So basically, on a spiritual aspect, what you need to do is, you're gonna need to charge yourself up, and but charge yourself up with a particular goal in mind. What I will say in regards to this, don't charge yourself up or pause. What I will say is, because I know in the Virgo Piscean axis, um, as it's applied, the universe in all of its infinite wisdom doesn't care about necessarily the do's and don'ts. It's a verb situation. So what I will say is, choose wisely what your goals are. And within choosing wisely what your goals are, is best for you to find something safe to do. I'm not saying it as a warning from me. I'm saying it because I could feel when y'all get messed up. I heard, does it hurt? Nope. Actually, I feel a whole lot better after it. My body just feels better. So very serious. It's like weights being lifted off me. In any event, the mental or the aspect of it is confront, focusing on your hopes and wishes. I heard, how do I feel about somebody? They know how I feel about them. That ain't your business. Mind your business. The business that pays you. That ain't for you to know. They know. How about that? Y'all doing too much already. I learned a lot of lessons from last time. Whole lot of lessons. When shit gets anchored, that's when I could speak on it. I can't speak on none of that other stuff. Y'all fucked it up. Y'all did it for too damn long, and you bitches took turns with it. So deal with it. But confront, focusing on your hopes and wishes. Pay attention to what your hopes and wishes are. Right. I heard something about go public. Okay, that requires 3D interaction. You can't do that shit on social media. What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? What are you thinking? That's not how you do things. I don't care if this is the technological age, because technically it didn't happen in 3D. And the physical portion of force yourself to resulted from the rules imposed by do it for the future. I just heard somebody say, I want to see your cards. Oh, well, I'll take a picture of it so you can see it, and then I'll post it afterward. Yeah, and that's something that I used to do with the whole situation why it came up. Yeah, and the whole situation of puzzles. Let me explain something to you. If a person has visions and things of that nature, that's awesome. That's great. But you can't expect for them to easily, if they've not ever utilized tarot or a particular mode for divination. You can't expect them, just because they're intuitive, to be able to get the right messages out just because they're intuitive, if that makes sense. Yeah, because these are tools, and different tools require different things for different people. I heard something about a setup. It very well could be a setup, but that is what I used to do. When I first started, I take a picture of it, take a picture of what it was that I was reading, and then I post it on my page. I had to stop doing it. Yeah, because it encouraged a few people to try to learn tarot, and then they was playing with it, and it was not good. It was not good at all. Yeah, because they were. One of the things that I definitively know is, if you have to get intoxicated to do it, 9 times out of 10, it wouldn't be genuinely you. It'll be more so whatever that spirit is, and who all would have touched it, and who all would have encountered that bottle before you. Even if it's in a grocery store, even if it's from a grocery store, if you're truly intuitive and you just don't practice it in your daily life. Okay, so it's that part. The other portion of it, right? Let's go ahead and clear this out, though. I believe you. I was just playing. Okay. All right. I don't try to be serious all the time, y'all. This is serious business, though. This is serious shit. Your spirit, that's the thing. Too many people play with their spirit opposed to having a playful spirit. It's a huge difference in the two. Huge difference in the two. And at this point, I could definitely tell the difference. That's a playful spirit, not a person playing with my spirit. Playing with my spirit is connecting me to a fucking show, or connecting any person to a fucking show after you put them out of it. And you find and you realize that they're the main reason why you were getting what you were getting out of it, after you've insulted the fuck out of them several times and they told you they weren't doing it no more. That's playing with someone's spirit. A playful spirit would be like, I want to see your cards. I want to see if it really say that. That's a playful spirit. It's not my fault y'all can't tell the difference between a demon that sounds like a child and an actual child. No, because what is given is the poltergeist aspect. Some of y'all may need to be careful with me bringing that up with the poltergeist aspect. You may need to be careful in that regard. No, because with the different abortions, because that's the other thing, with one looking inside and seeing that things wouldn't have ended, or there wouldn't have been an abortion, so to speak. Within that, that'll be the whole kid haunting you situation. Now, in that regard, when say for instance with the whole pregnancy aspect, you can get pregnant. A person can get pregnant with an idea, but you have to also understand what all happened to make that idea come into fruition. It was an alchemicalization. A lot of my business stuff is an alchemicalization. So in that regard, the good news of not being an illusion, opportunity, or not being an opportunist, and there being a shifting of the inspiration, grace, and the inspiration, graceful, and there being recognition. No, because I should not try one of them. If you do, you gonna bust me for no chain. Yeah, basically. I will say Sphinx did look pretty hot with that pink on, though. That was kind of hot. That was nice. I like that. Hey, Mahis. How you doing? Okay, I'm done, y'all. That's what I say to that. Okay, so within the good news of the happiness of Lilith, what's hidden, uh, things that would have been revealed in regards to the ones doing inspiration or King of Wands, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Now, this is in what will be clearing out. If you saged yourself or done any type of cleansing, you'll see exactly what it is that goes on within what you do and the overall essence of what it is to be a star, being a cosmos. Also, the fun fact, right, that the star represents Aquarius and Taurus. It has the humanistic aspect, but it also has the bull as an identifier. Now, when you go down the rabbit hole and you really start paying attention to that, it was at one point that the world, right, had its own little indicative animals for their time period. If you know what the animal is and the symbology within it, you can basically, I guess you could say, flush it out, so to speak, to which area your heritage and all that other stuff, or which area them stuffs is coming from. Yeah, because you got the hawk or eagle, uh, and the other portion of it being, yeah, Osiris and Isis. I never stated that I was Isis. I never wanted to be Isis. I didn't want to be Eve either. I knew that shit didn't fit me. I'm Lilith. Why the fuck would I shake myself down to Eve? That didn't make sense. I made poems about it multiple times. And the reality is, there was no expectation for that person to shift and change who they were. I was just trying to find who the fuck I'm supposed to be with. See, that's the problem that comes into place with the labyrinth of jealousy and the villainy that comes into place with an apology, and the villainy that comes into place with jealousy. If you're only doing it because you're jealous, you're not doing it because you really mean it. You're just doing it because you're fucking jealous and because you're not getting your way. That's that spoiled brat ass shit. I don't do very well with it. I don't. I don't. I'm a little bit of a brat my damn self. So why in the fuck? No. No, I like things the way I like for it to be done. Especially in a romantic relationship. You think you finna get some pussy from me and you can't even pick up the phone and call back? You think you gonna get some money from me and you can't even pick up the phone? Get the fuck out of here. What's fucking wrong with you people? Yeah, damn that spiritual. I called you bullshit. Motherfuckers have tried that shit and you see what happened to them. Yeah, no, because I was thinking, try it. You'll like it. No, that'll be speaking to some fears on trying new things, doing something in a different fashion that you would have done it before. That's also part of the villainy that would have come into place with it. Yeah, because if a person would have done that type of particular ritual or whatever, what have you, several times in order to get what they wanted in that regard from an individual. That's not good because that means you're being inauthentic. No, you're being inauthentic with the universe. You're not really even telling the universe what you really want. You asking for money, fortune, and fame when the reality of it is you really want to be healed from your uncle or your cousin or your family member. Yeah, doing whatever it is they did to you. It don't have to be as detrimental as sexual encounters or as detrimental as theft of your material possessions. Yeah, them just stealing your energy and talking shit about you. That would be what you would really want, and knowing what it is you would really want from a situation. Yeah, I learned that a long time ago when I noticed that certain people would remind me of traumatic situations that I had encountered. But I also learned a long time ago as well, just because I'm thinking about it doesn't mean I'm actually in that space. I'm safe to think about it in a different space, in a different mind frame, and it's meant to taught a lesson. Yeah, I'm gonna need y'all to grow up in that regard. So, as a summarization, yeah, pay attention to what it is that wouldn't have been talked about. It's not about what's said; it's about what wasn't said in the various situations. Before I made my decisions, I waited a whole year to give people ample amount of time to do whatever it is they needed to. The right way, not the way that they fucking wanted to. I wasn't playing stupid. I was being patient. It wasn't that I didn't care. It was that I cared too much. one of the things that comes into place with this type of work is when you have to battle, during a reading. This is part of the reason why. No, because I heard something about a personal. There was a personal reading that I did a long time ago at Fortune Teller Bar, and what took place was that person knew that they were supposed to give me more than what they did, and he didn't. And it's one of those, that happened a lot, and it was because of the color of my skin. It wasn't because the content of my character or the nobility of my gifts. It was because he was just being an asshole. So it is what it is. And when you have to deal with blockages and obstacles from employers and things of that nature, and they claiming that that's love. And if you make an offer to the man, but not the woman. One of the things that I learned as tradition, I heard you don't ever ask the man of the house, you ask the woman of the house. You absolutely right. That's some real old school. I like that. That's old school. Now we're kicking it old school. Is that 93.3? Is that still 95.5? Maybe I need to listen to the radio. Oh, iHeartRadio. What's going on with that? There must be something that, with the whole Uranus aspect. iHeartRadio. That, and also paying attention to what your essence is used from. All right, let me get this last little part out. All right. Let's see what this last little part is. Oh, there we go. Oh, that too. What would be hidden? The emotions, the moon essence would be all 9 of cups. The wish fulfillment being a tower moment, and one being able to move forward in thoughts. Gemini essence to move forward in love. I know y'all wasn't trying to bind me to my son just because that's what happened with you and your mama. You fucking idiot. You an idiot. I told you bastards how to fix all that. Don't do that. You know what? I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. Sphinx, you make me so happy. Thank you for listening, y'all. Yeah, because I can't with them. With what it is that I already knew had happened and I cussed them out about. Yeah, I already cussed them out about all this shit via text message. So whoever was getting all them text messages, I'm going to need y'all to remember what the fuck is and what the fuck ain't and what the fuck did and what the fuck didn't happen. And all the different shit that y'all was doing in those moments, I went off about it. In short, I said no then. But because grace was provided, you think that shit's supposed to change. Y'all do too much. All right. Light and love. Light and love to y'all. Oh, I love you too, Sphinx. All right. Because see, remember, light work, it ain't light work. It is not light work. It's not light work. And that's why you have to stay light while you work. Oh, I got an event that I'm supposed to be going to with a couple people, a couple friends. All right. Light and love to y'all. Mwah. Oh, my goodness.